First thing you should stop doing is stop trading your time for money.
If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die, Warren Buffett.
If your income is directly tied to your time, you can't make too much money. If the case is that you don't show up for your job or hustle or whatever and you don't get paid, that's a bad way to live, because it basically means you have to always be there if you want to see money at all. When you're just getting started, it's okay to start with trading your time for money, but don't aim to stay there forever, except that's what you want. One reason why many people don't get rich in their entire lives is because their time is directly tied to their income. So if they don't go to their job, they don't get paid. Or if they don't show up for their, small business or self-employed or whatever, they don't get paid. And obviously you're still going to show up, obviously you're still going to put in the work and work hard. But if it is directly tied, that's where the problem is. You have to find a way to directly divorce your time from your income, so you will still get money even if you are not there. And this is how the successful people do it. They have different things in place that even when they are not physically there, the machine is still working basically and they still make money. So how do you divorce your time from your income in my stacks? A few examples are hiring people to do the job for you. If you can hire somebody to do the job you are doing, you have basically divorced your time from your income, because while the person is working, you can basically just go and sleep or go and do something else and you are still going to get the money. Another example is having systems or processes or even tools that help you do the work. If you have like some AI tool or some software that helps you run the process or whatever, even when you're not there, that software is always going to keep running. That AI bot is always going to keep doing its work, so you keep making money. You don't have to physically be there doing the thing. Another good example that I really like is digital products, and this video is a very good example of that. By the time you're watching this video, I'm probably not sitting down and recording this video. This video is something I've recorded, and there's that potential of the video to keep making money over and over and over, even without me having to do anything else, because I've already made the video. The video is just going to keep producing money over and over and over and over, as long as it stays on the internet and people keep watching it. Those are just a few examples. When you use all these things, it gives you leverage, which simply means you get more for what you put out. So the second thing you should stop doing is being ignorant.
I said earlier that the unknown unknowns are the most expensive thing in business, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. And so I want to give you a quantifiable example. I remember the first time I heard this, it changed my life. And so it was actually a whiteboard just like this. So you get to, like, I'm getting goosebumps. You'll have the same experience I did. So a guy was on stage and he gave this whole presentation about learning skills and about how you have to invest in yourself to get better, right? And he called somebody in the audience and he said, "Ma'am," and as he's saying this, he's doing what I'm doing. He says, "Ma'am, how much money do you make right now per year?" She stood up and she said, $50,000 a year. He was like, "Okay. So what would be the main reason that you wouldn't want to invest today?" Right? So he was closing. This was actually a close. But as a side note, I think the reason I like sales so much is because many of the obstacle overcomes that you learn to overcome are actually self-bullshit. And so in a way, like, learning how to sell other people, for me, was learning how to sell myself. Because I had so much head trash of like why I couldn't do things, or why I shouldn't start now, or why I had to think about it, or why I needed permission from someone else, or why the universe was stacked against me to be successful. Like, these are all things that I had to learn the arguments against to convince myself to do stuff. And so he asked the lady, he says, "Okay, so what would make you not want to invest in this?" And she says, "Well, I don't have the money." And he said, "Well, you probably don't have the money because you've been paying a really expensive bill every single year." And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, right now, you've been paying $950,000 a year, not knowing how to make $1 million. He said, "This is the cost of your ignorance. This is the debt that you carry for the rest of your life until you learn how to make $1 million." And so the reason I'm so heavy on learning skills and becoming educated is that right now I'm paying down ignorance debt. I'm paying down $950 million a year not knowing how to make $1 billion. It's the debt I'm paying, right? Like, we all pay ignorance debt. And so the idea is, how quickly can I pay this down so that I can have more cash flow to continue to pay this down faster?
You can't do what you don't know. You basically cannot do what you don't know. Many people want to make money, they want to become financially successful and all that, but yet they will not do the basic fundamental things. Simple making money 101. It's not even actually about making the money in this point. They will simply not just pick up a book and read. They will simply not just go to Google or YouTube or any other search engine and just search, how do I make money? How do I stop being broke? What are skills I can learn? What do I do? They basically will not do all these basic fundamental things, and yes, you'll be wondering, oh, why am I still broke? Of course you're going to be broke. You cannot do what you don't know. If you don't know how to make money, guess what? You're not going to make money. It's that simple. And courses are not a scam. Most of them. Yes, I do get some of all these courses, they are scams and everything. Many of all these gurus, they try to sell you overpriced courses and all that's true. But not every single one of them are scam. If you keep having this mindset that, oh, courses are scam, internet education and all that is scam, then you're always going to stay broke. The point is not that you should go and start buying every single course you see on the internet, but definitely you want to be investing in your education. So look for a credible person, a credible source, a credible place where they have courses, and purchase these things. These things are going to help you. The more you get this knowledge, the more you can earn. The more you learn, the more you can earn. The more you know, the more you can earn. Why are you not making $10,000 a month? Of course, there are probably a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is because you simply just don't know how to. So just go and learn how to make $10,000 a month. Third thing you should stop doing is perfectionism and making excuses. Stop trying to make everything perfect before you start. Everything is never going to be perfect before you start. You're waiting for the perfect condition, or the perfect equipment, or the perfect business model, or the perfect side hustle, or the perfect course, the perfect video. Like all these things, if you keep waiting, you're going to get nowhere. So just start. Conditions will never be perfect. Just do it. Stop using all these things as excuses of why you're not taking action, why you're not doing anything. Just start. Just do it. The fourth thing is you should stop wasting time. I think this one is pretty straightforward. Just stop spending your time on bullshit activities. You know what those things are? Scrolling all day on social media, playing video games, watching movies, mindless entertainment, bullshit, wasting time, going to parties and drinking and all. Like you know all these things, all these distractions. You have to stop wasting time on them, basically. And even just sitting down and just being idle, just doing nothing. You have this valuable idea and you just sit around and just do nothing about it. You want to stop all these things. All these things are wasting your time, and you know that you cannot get time back. Time is the most valuable asset you have. Cease wasting time on bullshit activities, stupid things that are not going to move you forward, and instead use that time and energy to start building your dream life today. The fifth thing you should stop doing is dividing your attention.
Let's say this is you, and this is your time and attention that you have to pursue any new opportunity. So you say, I need 7 income streams because the average millionaire has 7 income streams. So I'm going to spread myself thin between 7 different opportunities. And while I do that, I'm going to be multitasking, trying to fill different cups at the same time with different colors. And I'm somehow going to wait until one of these things takes off, right? I have to see which ones of these will work. But the reality is, it's not which of these ones will work. Any of them could work if you put the work in, but you have to reach a threshold. Once you get to the top, the extra cash starts spilling over and you actually have a profitable opportunity. Which one of these cups is closer to spilling over? You going in on one thing, or you spreading yourself between 7? And the reason that this myth continues to proliferate is because it's absolutely true that people who are the wealthiest have multiple income streams. But what's not true is about how they got there. The wealthiest people in the world go all in on one income stream and they keep adding it up over and over and over again until it overflows. And then once it overflows, because they're making so much money from their one opportunity, they then start diversifying back between the other different ways. But they made their wealth focusing on one thing, and then they maintain their wealth by distributing it. You don't make money by splitting your attention up. You make it by focusing on the one thing that matters most.
Stop trying to do multiple businesses or multiple hustles or multiple skills or multiple whatever at the same time. It's basically never works. And I'm personally talking from experience, because this was me for the longest time. I tried to do dropshipping and SMMA on YouTube and this and that and this. And the things, after jumping around, after trying to do all these so many different business models, I still got nowhere. I was still broke. So guess what I did? I finally picked one. I told myself I'm going to do just this one till I become successful. And that is exactly what I'm doing right now. Because you want to realize your time, your effort, your attention, they are very deadly only when focused on one thing. Think about it like a laser beam. A laser beam will be very, very hot and very deadly when it's only pointed at one particular spot. If you start moving the beam around and you put it here for a few seconds, then you carry it here, then you carry it here, it's not going to make significant impact compared to if you just leave it on just one point and just let it burn and burn and burn. It's going to destroy whatever is in front of it. That is basically how you want to use your time and attention. Realize that if you are doing many things, today you are doing trading, tomorrow is crypto, the next day you are doing music, then after that you want to be a writer, then SMMA, then dropshipping, time and attention is not going to be deadly, it's not going to be valuable, it's going to be weak. But if you just take your time and attention and your energy and just focus it on just one thing, whatever that thing is, whether it's trading or being a writer or dropshipping or SMMA, whatever the thing is, or building software, learning to code, and you just do that, the results you are going to get, you yourself will be shocked. The sixth thing you should stop doing is having a scarcity mindset. You have to start to think in abundance. I know this one is not easy because so many of us from a young age we have been trained that money is scarce, so money doesn't grow on trees and things of that nature. But if you continue to keep these thoughts in your mind, you're always going to be broke. You want to realize that your thoughts shape your reality. And if you think money is hard or scarce or very difficult to come by, then guess what? Money will be scarce and hard and difficult to come by for you. You can't think money is hard and very scarce and it will just come to you abundantly. If you think money is scarce, it will be scarce for you. So basically start thinking in terms of abundance, so money will not be scarce for you. The seventh one is to stop living like a mess.
Exercise. Now, there's some four things like water, sunlight, etc., but those are pretty self-explanatory. It's very simple. It's not hard. Like, if you can't figure this thing out, if you can't figure out how to be healthy and take care of your body, you don't deserve to climb the ladder. How the hell are you going to figure out what you want to do with your life if you can't figure out how to go to bed on time? So you need to solve these problems first. So just sleep 7 to 8 hours a night in a cold, dark room consistently at the same time. Diet. Stay away from processed foods, stay away from sugars, stay away from seed oils, and then exercise. Like, just get out. Go and touch some grass. Go to the gym a couple of times a week. Get your heart rate up, sweat.
With this one, I'll kind of say it's not exactly true because you can make the arguments that it doesn't exactly matter. I'm very sure there might be some millionaire or some guy that still became successful even though his room was messy or he had mental health issues or whatever. True. But in general, if your house is messy and your mind is messy and your life is messy, there's a very, very, very high chance your finances will also be messy and your business as well will also be messy. So you basically want to clean up your life, want to tidy up everything, both physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, everything. You want to make sure everywhere is clean and tidy and not messy. If your surrounding is messy, it will basically just reflect in your business. The eighth thing you should stop doing is relying on motivation.
Looks very ugly. There's no fucking passion. There's no fucking motivation. There's no, oh my God, man, no. It's every day of your life just doing. No passion, no discipline, no motivation. All these words, I hate that so many people fucking use these words now because it's watered. It's someone sitting in a room by themselves and they figure themselves out and say, God, this is gonna fucking suck. Where's passion when you're 300 pounds? Where's the motivation when you can't read and write? Where is it? So how did this happen? I just fucking did.
Motivation is fleeting and very inconsistent. Our motivation is usually the highest when we start something new. But when we get into the weeds of it, when we start to really get into the grind, when you start to get into the trenches of whatever that thing is, that motivation quickly dwindles away. Because at that point, the venture, the new business or the new idea or the new hustle or skill you are learning or whatever is no longer fun. It's like all the novelty has faded away. So now you're just faced with reality. And this is the reason why you should rely on discipline, because if it's the motivation you're just relying on, basically once all motivation gets lost, you'll be like, oh, I don't feel like doing this thing anymore. Then you jump to something new again, just like we said. and before you know, your focus is now divided to this new thing. And now until you go through the same process, the motivation fades away, jump to the other one, then after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, after 3 years, you have basically made no progress. So you want to rely on discipline instead, because discipline is more consistent and more stable. Discipline is basically doing what you know you should do, whether you feel like it or not. And the good thing about discipline is you can progressively overload it over time. You are probably less disciplined today than you will be tomorrow. Your discipline level today is probably significantly lower than your discipline level tomorrow. Maybe as of right now, your current discipline level could be maybe working 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day. Let's say 2 hours a day, for example. If you progressively overload it over time, so 2 hours a day, then after a few days or a few weeks or a few months, you make it 2 hours 15 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes, 2 hours 45 minutes, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. After a while, maybe after 6 months, after 1 year, your discipline level would have increased, and now you'll be working 6 hours every day. Doesn't mean you should completely get rid of motivation, but just rely more on discipline. The ninth thing you should stop doing is stop eating cereal for breakfast. And when I say cereal, I don't mean literal cereal, I just mean metaphorically.
There's a Mark Twain quote that I love, and it says, if you have to eat a frog, eat him in the morning. If you have to eat two, eat the big one first. And the idea behind this is to do the awful things you don't want to do first, because it turns out if you do the hard things first, everything else seems a whole lot easier.
Many of us, when we start our day, we like to start it with easy, simple, unimportant task. And the reason why we do this is because the task is basically easy, it's fun. But the thing about all these easy and fun things is they are not what actually moves the needle. They are not what will actually move you forward. They are not what will actually take you closer to your goals. Yes, they are fun, and of course, in some way, shape, or form, they do contribute to the overall progress, but they are not the main things that will drive you forward. Instead, you want to do the hard, uncomfortable tasks that will actually move you closer to those goals. So when you wake up in the morning, instead of going to do the easy thing, you want to look for the biggest and ugliest frog and eat it first, because that's what is actually going to make the difference. The 10th thing you should stop doing if you want to get rich is stop hanging out with losers. If you have 5 friends and they're all losers and you hang out with them, what do you think is going to happen to you? You are basically going to become the 6th loser. And it's quite unfortunate, but so many people in our lives, friends, family, co-workers, whatever, they are basically losers. They don't have ambition, they're just fine with being mediocre or complacent or whatever. And it's quite sad. So you want to find the winners and hang out with them instead. You want to change your inner circle. Instead of having 5 average friends that are basically losers, why not strive to have 5 average friends that they are all winners? Because if all of them are winners, automatically you're going to become the 6th winner. Don't get this wrong. This doesn't mean you should just cut off everybody and isolate yourself, long way from others. No, you shouldn't do that. So if you have good friends in your life, keep them. It doesn't mean they all have to want to make money online, or they all have to want to make $10,000 a month, or they all have to want to become financially free or whatever. Everybody has different goals in life. They might just not be at that stage in their life yet. But if they are good people that are actually helping you and moving you forward, still keep them in your life. Don't cut them off. By the way, if you are super serious and you want to start making money online ASAP and avoid a lot of the guesswork and trial and error that comes with making money online and everything, I've linked a few products in the description that I really think will help you out. Go check it out. These videos are not meant to be taken as financial advice or gospel. These are just tips and tactics and information and things of that nature from research, books, videos, courses, podcasts, and so on. So when you watch videos like this, don't take it as gospel. Take it with a grain of salt. If you find anything valuable, use it to your advantage. If not, discard the information.
You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.